It is Monday, September 15th, 2025. Welcome to another edition of Baseball Today. Chris Rose, not even sure where he's at. I think he's flying to New York right now to give some talk to our company. So, again, we're bringing in the star reliever. Who are you? Are you Aroldis Chapman right now?
Mm,
That's Jolly Olive, producer Dan, and intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Jolly, I always love having you on to talk some ball. You are ball knower number like 3 at the company, I would say.
holy.
Something like
Wait,
that.
did I fall down the rung?
How are
Jeez.
you feeling today? Thanks for coming on, man.
Trev, you gave me the Chapman comp. I'm more of like a Glenn Perkins kind of guy. I'm just
Okay.
reliable. I'm not going to get the headlines, but I get the job done. I'm doing great. My team is undefeated since yesterday. Vibes are high. Fangraph says that we're going to make the playoffs, and I'm just going to blindly believe them. We're feeling good.
We're going to get into how you feel about the Mets. I do need to mention Baseball Today is presented by Mountain Dew. If you're looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer, go and grab a Mountain Dew. We're going to have plenty of those in the warehouse. Dalton Feely passing them out, baby. That's what he
Oh,
likes to
no.
do. Jolly, again, thank you for filling in and safe travels to our guy, Chris Rose. We do love him. He's doing football. He does a lot right now.
He
Football,
does too much, honestly.
consulting for our company.
It's
He's
crazy.
just a workaholic. Love the big guy. Miss you. But we're going to start off today's episode like we always do with a tip of the cap. But here, now that Chris is gone, I'm doing 2 tips of the cap. Today, it's a double dose. We celebrate Sal Perez hitting his 300th homer. On the same swing, he actually reaches 1,000 runs driven in for his career as well. It was a cool scene out in Philadelphia after the game. The fan who caught his ball, usually these guys, they want something, and that's fine. You give him a bat, a jersey. He said all he wanted to do was to meet Sal. He loves the game too much to ask for more. I thought that was really cool. Sal's a statue guy for me. I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. I'm like kind of so confused on the Hall of Fame, but I will say this. Amongst primary catchers who have hit 300 homers, there's only 8 of them. 6 of those guys, not including Sal, are in the Hall of Fame. So what do you think, Joel? Hall of
I
Famer?
think I think the ballot's going to change a lot once Sal and Yachty hit it. Until then, I don't really know, but I think they have a larger chance that people give them credit for.
Vinny P, also our friend of the show, he gets to 30 in 100. So that was an awesome feat for him as well. And the second tip of the cap, this one's really cool. Pat Murphy's making me emotional, man. After the Brewers clinched their postseason appearance, the skipper read a letter from the late Bob Uecker, who had written it before he passed and gave it to Brewers owner Mark Atanasio. We're seeing him right now, if you're on the YouTube version, him reading to the guys in the clubhouse, and which was very emotional. Shout out to Uke. He talked about being on God's baseball team as the third catcher. But only a guy like Uke who really embodies Milwaukee baseball and really baseball in general. Like what a life and career he had. But to be able to give this letter and then have it be read by your manager as the first team to clinch the playoffs is like so serendipitous. And we talked about this a little bit. We're going to get into the Etsy Witch situation in Seattle. I think I'd rather have you on my side.
Yeah, I thought this was beautiful. This kind of got me like fired up, like watching this. Like if I'm in that clubhouse, that inspires the hell out of me. I also I tweeted out like if the Mets don't make the playoffs, which that's going to be a topic we discuss later. This is a team I'm riding hard for, just because I think the story is it's very beautiful baseball storytelling of like they're winning it for Uke. And I caught some flack from my Mets people, but I think that like it's hard not to root for the Brewers after seeing a clip like this.
I think they're America's team. If you don't
A little
have a
bit.
team in the playoffs, like you're rooting for the Brewers. The way they play baseball is fun. They have the backstory with Uke, and like everybody know that's the cool thing about Bob Uecker is everybody knows who it is. And you might know him from Major League, or you might know him from calling Brewers game. Maybe you know him from his playing days. I don't know, but you know who Bob Uecker is. He's a part of like the American zeitgeist, especially for guys a little bit older than us. He's just, it's like an American icon.
Yeah.
So shout out Uke, shout out the Brewers. Let's get into the show. Talking about the Brewers clinching a postseason spot. The Phillies also did that as well. Both these teams still have something to play for. The Phillies are trying to secure a bye, trying to get one of those top 2 seeds. They go into LA trying to secure that. If they win that series, it's pretty much theirs. And Milwaukee is still trying to close out the division, though that could happen very soon as well. I want to know something. I want to know your thoughts on this because I've been thinking about it quite a lot recently. You want to win a bunch of games during the regular season. You want to win the bye, but do you really want to have the bye? What are your thoughts? Like where are we at as a baseball society with clinching this early and then receiving the first round bye? Do you think it is that important for teams to do it, or do you think it actually could be, to their detriment to have this time off?
Yeah, I really need one of these teams to go on a run because I need people to respect the buy and want it again because there, like you said, there is kind of a shift in terms of how we view it because the past 2 years, the sixth seed in the National League has gone like on some crazy run, and year after year, we're seeing the teams with the buys get knocked out in the first round. And I do think the buy is valuable. You get to set up your rotation the way you want. You get to give guys who are going through wear and tear, valuable days off that they probably need. There is the other side of the coin, which is, when guys get 2, 3 days off, something as small as that can throw them off the rhythm of the day-to-day rigor that is baseball. But at the same time, like I refuse to believe in my sports brain of any sport, not just baseball, that there's no inherent value or even detrimental value in having a bye. So I'm hoping that the Brewers and Phillies, show why having the bye is important and show why, it's important to regaining your strength as a team and putting your best foot forward in terms of who you're pitching in what game. But the current narrative is like you kind of want to be one of these wild card teams barely scraping into the playoffs with nothing to lose. Whereas when you have the 1 seed or the 2 seed with that bye, there is a sort of weird added pressure, even though you have home field advantage of like this team just played 3 games, their hair's on fire. They already won a playoff series. They have momentum. I'm wondering if one of those teams can kind of defeat that narrative this year.
So going back to 2022, which was the first year of the current playoff format, 50-50 split in the divisional round. Atlanta loses to Philly, LA loses to San Diego, but Houston, who had the bye, beat Seattle, and the Yankees beat Cleveland 2023. Baltimore loses to Texas, Atlanta loses to Philadelphia, LA loses to Arizona, Houston beats Minnesota. So that's 3 of 4 of the teams with the bye losing. And then last year, I believe it was a dead split.
I know it was Mets over Brewers. It was Padres beat Atlanta, so that's a split there. And then the AL was it the Central teams that were involved in that? I think the Royals.
Yankees got the bye. They beat the Royals. Cleveland beats the Tigers.
Yeah,
So I don't think you can really go back to history and say, yes, it's better or yes, it's not better. I do agree. Like, it doesn't seem to me though like that is advantageous. Now, you could, if you're a team that is trying to heal up or set your rotation, like I understand that. It makes sense, I think, from the pitching standpoint and the health standpoint. But I do think for a hitter, it's like there's 2 things that I think are detrimental for a hitter. You might feel good getting 1 day off, getting your body back under you, but having like 3 or 4 days off without seeing live pitching. Now, I know they're facing live BP and doing that, but not game situation stuff. It does get you out of whack. It just does. And that's not like some guys are able to come back and be fine. But I think overall, if you ask a Major League Baseball player, like, hey, man, as a hitter, do you want these 4 days off? They'd be like, no, I don't. Like, does it sound nice in theory? Yes, but I'd rather be in the box, keeping my timing down. So I think there's that aspect to it. And then there is something, Jolly, to be said about like playing in these games where you're under pressure every single day. Like you harden a little bit. It's like getting calloused hands. Like, it might hurt at the beginning, but eventually like those calluses come and you're better off for it. And I think that is kind of what we've seen. Some of these wild card teams who just they're playing these games like they're playoff games during the season. So yeah, they're moving runners, they're having selfless at bats. Like stats mean nothing to them. It's just about getting the victories. That's a different type of mentality in baseball that you can carry over into the playoffs, and that's kind of playoff baseball. So I think there are arguments for both sides here. I don't know what we could do to make the buy more attractive. Because
No, I'm with you.
What
I
could it be? You're getting home field advantage. You have the days to rest, set up your rotation. The bullpen is fresh. So you can kind of go that way. I don't know what else you could add on to it.
I honestly don't like. I like this format. I like, if you're going to do a 16 playoff and it might grow in the ensuing years, like this is kind of the way you're supposed to do it, unless you want to go full like Japanese baseball, Korean baseball style, where they have like the running bracket of like the 5 and 4 play each other, then the 4 plays the 3, then the 3, and you get like this even longer bye, but you're already in like the last round of the playoffs. I don't think fans would like that. That's such a jarring switch. So it's kind of on the top teams to perform like top teams, which I fully think the Phillies and Brewers are capable of doing. It's just you got to go out there and do it.
So I'm looking back at 2024, and I believe 3 of 4 teams with the bye won. So it almost make it a dead uh 50-50 split amongst bye teams because LA beat San Diego, the Phillies lost, and they had the bye, and then Guardians and the Yankees won, and both those teams are
Yeah.
like it'll be 3 of 4.
I think the narrative kind of persists because I think a lot of the examples of the bye team winning are the Astros, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think in 3 of the 4 years, the Astros have had a bye and they've won their first round because they're just in the ALCS every year. So I think because it's basically every other team has failed in that regard, that's probably where that comes from.
All right, let's move on now to the AL West. Speaking of those Astros, got a little shakeup here. The Seattle Mariners wrapped up a perfect 4-game sweep of the Angels, extending their witchy win streak to 9 games as they reclaim the top spot in the AL West. They're now sitting 1 game ahead of Houston. Jelly, I'm going to read the stat line from the starters. Bryce Miller goes 5 2/3 innings pitched with 11 Ks. Luis Castillo, 6 innings pitched, 1 and run with 5 Ks. Brian Wu was dominant, 5th straight quality start. Struck out 13 over 6 innings. He retired the final 13 batters he faced. And then George Kirby was like, I got you, bro. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 14 Ks. It all adds up. Quick math here 24 innings pitched, 27, 32, 43 Ks.
Great math. Great math.
I can do arithmetic. Oh my gosh. I can't speak, but I can do math.
One thing at a time.
Arithmetic.
One thing at a time.
My question to you is, and look, I know it's the Angels. I just watched this team play. They are not a good baseball team. They just are not. But the Mariners have been doing it. A 9-game winning streak. I don't know if you want to chime in on the Etsy witch, and I don't know if you've got any witch or potion stories that you want to talk about. But my question to you is, at their best, everybody playing their best throughout the league. In the AL, are the Mariners the best team pound for pound?
I mean, it's hard to argue against it when they're playing to their potential. And then right now they are, because it starts with the way we've identified them before. It's their starting pitching powerhouse team. And you're finally starting to see that come to fruition in this final month. But it's also on top of that, Cal Raleigh has returned to form and he has an OPS near 1,000 in September, but it no longer feels like a one-man show. There are contributors all throughout this lineup. JP Crawford's starting to turn things around. We're seeing Josh Naylor really endear himself to the Seattle faithful, which is really cool. And also, like with teams like the Seattle Mariners, you kind of always feel like there should be a rallying cry of some sort. Like they developed kind of an iconic Selly a couple of years back. They always seem to have something going with them whenever they get on one of these runs. So I'm fully on board with the whole Etsy witch cast the spell thing. I don't fully understand it, but I think it's really cool that the players are talking about it casually, like it's a factor in the clubhouse. Like that's how you know that the rallying cry is real and not just kind of like this forced thing. And for right now, it feels real in Seattle. And I know you said before, yeah, like they're playing the Angels, but also like good teams beat bad teams. Like you have to win these games, and the Mariners are winning all of these games. They take 2 out of 3 on the road against Atlanta. They sweep the Cardinals, who were like kind of getting back into the picture, and then Seattle basically ended their season. And now a 4 games mopping of the Angels. That's exactly what they needed to do. Whereas I think the frustrating Mariners that we saw for the past 2 or 3 months, maybe they go 5-5 in this stretch, and that's not a stretch that kills their season, but it's an opportunity to gain ground, which they didn't take advantage of. Now they're fully in control of their destiny. And on the horizon is that 3-game series in Houston, which we've been talking about for months. If they can get through this Kansas City series, maintain their position, they control their destiny, which is all you can ask for, because what follows is a 3-gamer with Colorado Rockies, and they've been beating the bad teams. So pound for pound, I would not want to face this Mariners team in a 3-game set, in a 5-game set, in a 7-game set, because I think they're equipped to win those series in much different ways. In 3 games, they can throw you such good starting pitching, but in 7 games, they have the decent enough bullpen and enough quality starters to get through that long set and basically outdo teams that are maybe relying on 1 or 2 horses or 1 or 2 guys at the top of the lineup to really power things up. They feel really complete right now, and I'm excited to watch that series in Houston.
You stole my answer right there with that last point. I think there are teams that match up very well against them in a 3-game set or a 5-game set. I think the Toronto Blue Jays, you have to talk about them, the length of their lineup, the clutch hitting that they've received. You could talk about some of the guys in the rotation. Shane Bieber has been awesome for them. It's really cool to see. So they have enough there. And I'll go even with them in a 5-game set. I think they'd be very difficult to face. I'd say the same thing about the Yankees. I think in a 3 or 5-game set, you probably have to put them right up there with the Mariners. But over a 7-game set, I think that's where they have the advantage, and it goes with the starting pitching. I think all of those teams have question marks ish as far as like their bullpen. But if you're really paring it down like you do in the postseason and kind of riding these guys, I think you could just kind of squash that. It is the starting pitching for me that does make the difference. I'm not putting the Mariners so far above the Blue Jays or the Yankees. I mean, I feel like they are just a tick. And because we've been seeing the starting pitching performances, that's kind of what moves the needle for me. But I think this week in the AL West is going to be one of the most interesting weeks in baseball. Houston goes and plays Texas to start the week off before going into Seattle. So it's going, this division and this kind of wild card race is wrapping itself up to be a really fun end of the season. But I do think right now, if we're talking best over best over best, I would take the Mariners, and like the 7-game set is what changed it for me.
I don't think that's that crazy of a take, man. I think when they're right, they're playing some of the best baseball in MLB.
Speaking of some of the best ever, I need to tell you about Skims.
Oh.
Because let's talk about where comfort matters most. Your underwear, we all wear it. So why not wear Skims? I have Skims on right now. I promise you I do. I'm not showing you. Jake would. I will not. They're great. They're the gray cotton ones. They're awesome. Skims, the brand known for revolutionizing shapewear, has now launched a line of men's underwear that's about to change your daily routine because they have an option for every underwear preference. I told you, I'm wearing the cotton, but they also have the stretch, the sport. The stretch fabric gives you that perfect fit that moves with you. The cotton blend provides lasting comfort for everyday wear. The sport fabric wicks away sweat, and offers light compression for your workouts. I wear those when I work out. Skims really covered all the bases with the lineup, so you have options to choose from. Shop Skims at skims.com. That's SKIMS.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Go to skims.com, shout us out, go get you some good underwear. It's so important. That's the mark of a grown-up, Jolly. How's your underwear drawer looking?
It's looking complete right now.
That's a real question to you.
Right? No, I just, can I tell you something? Literally ordered new underwear last week. I feel like a brand new man. It was overdue, and it's so easy. Just do it.
It's so easy. Go to skims.com, order it, shout our podcast out. And now the part of the show we've all been waiting for. It's the Mets and Jolly given the State of the Union. They finally found their footing on Sunday. They snapped a brutal 8-game skid with a dramatic 5-2 walk-off win over the Rangers. Play the clip, Dan.
Alonso drives one to deep right field, headed toward the wall. That ball is out of here. Pete Alonso wins it with an opposite field 3-run homer. The Mets put the 8-game losing streak behind them. Alonso's 34th of the year.
Dan, that's the clip. We get it. He runs the bases. He celebrates. Very reminiscent of them playing the Brewers last year in the playoffs.
Hey.
Noel McLean was masterful. 6 shutout innings, just 5 hits with 2 walks, struck out 7. His ERA sits at a 1.19 through his first 6 starts. Okay, 2 things. One, quick State of the Union on the Mets, and then I'm going to ask you a question after that. Go.
Oh, God. All right. I mean, great that they won that game yesterday. There's so many winnable games on that 8-game losing streak. Anything that can go wrong did go wrong. Bad fundamentals, bad bullpen play, great starting pitching performances getting wasted. But the Mets still control their destiny somehow, some way. They still have a game and a half lead. I don't know how. And I bet you my entire life savings, it's going to come down to Mets Marlins that last series of the year, and we'll just see what fucking happens. Can I
What
curse
is
on the
your
show?
life
Sorry.
savings? What is it? How much?
You want to know?
No, I don't. My question to you is, I'm very curious. I think we've kind of talked about this before,
Okay.
but I'm going to set a line on it. Over under 1.5 rookies makes a start in the wild card round because McLean's going to make a start.
I'm hammering the over, I think. I mean, like, I think the third starter is probably Peterson. It's probably not Jonah Tong. He got rocked pretty hard against the Rangers in his last start. Kind of the worry you have with calling up a 22-year-old. But Brandon Sproat, who started game 2 of the series and unfortunately didn't get a win, he also threw 6 shutout innings and looked very good doing it, touching 100, looking very composed and, very stoic on the mound, which I think is very important, having that kind of veteran presence as a rookie. I think he gets the nod in game 2. Like, I think game 3 might go to that veteran David Peterson if it gets to that, if the Mets are even in this playoff series hypothetical. But I think you are doing yourself the best service if you put McLean and Sprout out there, but just because there's not a lot of footage on them. What they've shown you so far has been very, very impressive. And I just think you got to go with the electric arms, with the velocity, with the guys with great stuff over maybe great command, which David Peterson hasn't really displayed in the last month and a half.
Okay. I did not know that was going to be your answer.
There you go.
Interesting. I can't wait to see that Marlins series. Can't wait to see you put up your life savings. I'm sure it's a lot, Jolly.
I'm gonna win a lot of money because I know it's gonna come down to that series. Like, it's every Mets fan knows that. They all know it already.
Clearly, we're an East Coast biased organization because now we're going to move on to the Yankees. And Aaron Judge, who passed Joe DiMaggio for 4th place on the Yankees' all-time home run list with his 362nd homer. He's got 363 now for his career. Play the tape, Dan.
And Judge rips one out toward left center field. This one headed way back beyond the monster as Aaron Judge catapults the Yankees to a 1-0 lead. One big swing at Fenway to pass
the video.
Joe on the all-time Yankee home run list, number 362.
He's out of control.
You're out of control.
He's out of control.
We've seen a lot of Judge homers. Okay, Dan. We love it. I'm happy. We're going to talk about him. He's getting hot just in time for October. He's hitting over 350 over his last 15 games, 5 homers in his last 7. He's got 48 on the season. He's got an OPS at 1.1. My question to you, Jolly, is there another player who means more to their team's postseason chances than Aaron Judge? And if so, who is it?
Full stop, no. And I'm really curious to see if the Yankees end up in that wild card round, because if you've talked to Dan Rourke about the 2024 run before, he likes to mention, and I do think this is a valid point, the Yankees had that time off, and Judge was hot going into the run, and then they had the time off, and then he was a ghost basically until game 4 of the World Series. I wonder if he's one of these guys, like we talked about earlier, where the time off kind of messed him up, because right now, like you said, he's as hot as he's been all season. And if the Yankees have to play continuous baseball throughout October, no break this time in that wild card series, I wonder how different things look for Aaron Judge. So I'm really curious to see how that pans out. But, if you're talking who's going to win MVP and who's most important to their team right now, it's no question at all. It's Aaron Judge.
I agree with you. I was searching, trying to figure out, I'm like, is Jeff Hoffman, if he goes on a run, is he that important?
Interesting pick.
But there's so many guys that also need to contribute for the Blue Jays. I really do think it's if Aaron Judge doesn't have a monumental postseason, I don't think the Yankees go far. And I don't think that's like a stretch to say. It's no offense. There are some great players in the Yankees. I like their lineup a ton. Jazz Chisholm is about to put a 30-30 season up, and I don't think anybody knows that. Over his last 162, he's 40-40.
There you go. I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth.
So, like, there are great players on a lot of these teams that mean a lot, but I don't think one person comes close to meaning as much as Aaron Judge does to the Yankees. And I think also for his legacy, which we've talked about a ton, how important it is for him to go out there and dominate and win a championship. I think baby steps, let's go out and dominate first, and then we'll see if the championship comes. But yeah, I was trying to think like any other team. Like there's just kind of too many collections of players on the other teams that mean something. To me, it's Aaron Judge or bust.
I think like you can argue Jordan for the Astros because he's come back and kind of been the guy
Good
for
one.
them, and that's really kept them afloat. Mookie for the Dodgers has been playing much better lately. That could be an X factor for them. But in terms of just overall teams and like the disparity between their best player and the rest of the roster, it is Judge.
Real quick, Cal Raleigh ties Mickey Mantle for the most homers in a single season by a switch hitter with 54. We've talked about Judge versus Cal MVPs. I think we both still think Judge is going to win it. Have we had a change of heart?
I think Cal is going to be one of the best MVP twos ever, but he is going to be an MVP too.
Same. I got to tell you one thing before we get out of here. I got a really fun question 5 for you, but I got to tell you a little bit about Square. This episode is brought to you by Square. Sports are something that helps bring neighborhoods together, whether it's a sports bar dedicated to a specific fan base or a game day ritual involving the best wings in town. Neighborhood businesses help grow communities. I have a neighborhood business. I'll call it out. Peddler's Fork. Everyone goes there and has coffee. You can sit around, watch games. It's an awesome place. It's our local neighborhood spot here in Calabasas. Neighborhood businesses help make a community feel unique and welcoming. They're the spots people love, almost like a second home. When local shops are successful, the whole area benefits. Shopping nearby keeps money circulating locally and helps small businesses owners grow. That community support matters, and even one visit can have a real impact. Square partners with more than 4 million neighborhood businesses worldwide, celebrating their role in keeping communities vibrant. You can go to square.com/today to learn more. Before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. I love that ad read right there. That's awesome. Yes, go support your small businesses around your neighborhood. I feel like that happens a lot in New York. Jolly going supporting wherever you live. Very important. Nice message by Square. Go to square.com/today, like I said, to learn more.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better than that. All about that mom and pop stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Rapid reaction for question 5. We're going to go. Rizzo retires. He spends his day in Wrigley Field in the bleachers. Zoo's a homer, drinks beers with Eddie Vedder, starts a snake cup. What do you call it? A cup snake?
Yeah, you nailed it. Cup snake.
How'd you feel about that?
I love
Rizzo
it.
in the stands.
How could you not love it? That's like the dream. Like imagine those fans standing next to Rizzo. They don't even know he's there and they look over their shoulder. It's the World Series first baseman. I think that's all. I wish more players would do stuff like this, but it kind of takes a certain personality, and Rizzo definitely is that guy.
Are you mad he missed that homer?
No, it's hard to catch a homer ball, man. Like that's tough.
Good take, Charlie.
I think that was like
that
was important for all the people that get made fun of for dropping home run balls. That shit's hard, man.
Jolly, did you see Nick Kurtz's massive homer? I know it's Sacramento, but my goodness, 491 over the batter's eye, and I thought this picture was awesome. It's Zach Geloff and Jacob Wilson. Like you don't see guys at this level surprised that often, but that was an absolute bomb.
Best part about the Nick Kurtz homers is that Dallas Braden gets to call them, and every time he's just like completely flabbergasted every single time.
If they can find some pitching, they might be a problem. The A's can hit, dude.
Swept the Reds. Come on.
And we like to leave with something heartwarming and just a cool video here. Zach Cole gets called up by the Houston Astros, hits a homer in his first at bat, has 3 hits in his debut, and this is his Double-A teammates' reaction. Just going nuts for the boy.
Yeah.
Doesn't this like warm your heart? It kind of feels like what we do in the warehouse. Like when Joe's finally got a batter out, like we celebrate. It's kind of same.
No, I think it's like the same vibe. Like how could you not be romantic about it? And here's warehouse legend himself.
How could you not be romantic about this? Look at getting ready for the Subway Series Warehouse Week. See you in October.
Man. You never know what's going to happen.
Struck out. He has no idea.
You never know what's going to happen on Baseball Today when Chris Rose leaves, but we do appreciate every single one of our listeners. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below how much you love Jolly on this show, because I surely love having him co-host with me. So thank you, Jolly, for coming on. For Jack Oliver, also known as the Dirty Martini, For intern Sawyer and super producer Dan Rourke, I am Trevor Plouffe. We will see you. Actually, I won't see you tomorrow. Jolly will be back with Chris Rose tomorrow.
No one wants to
on
work
Baseball
anymore.
Today.